vampire infantry. Zombies. Zombies are simple corpses raised by necromancers to be used against the enemy as infantry. The armaments of these unliving are extremely diverse, for any who have died on the field of battle are instantly amongst their ranks. Some might have been recently slain Imperial troopers with magnificent weapons and armour, while others may consist of simple peasants with rusty pitchforks and kitchen knives. Whatever their origins, these unliving are still used extensively by the vampire counts. The skeleton warriors. Skeleton warriors form the mainstay of the vampire count armies, and unlike zombies, have the ability to go head to head against any other infantry. These skeleton warriors are raised from times long ago, having been slain in combat and buried with both their weapons and armour still intact. Although these warriors bear rusty swords and rotten wooden shields, these skeletons still have a flicker of light within their sockets that indicates the spirit still linger within them. The crypt ghouls. Crypt ghouls, or simply ghouls, are malformed humans who have devolved themselves into a primitive existence due to their horrible consumption of dead flesh. Unlike the undead, these still living creatures do not engage their enemy head on and will rather attack them from the shadows. The crypt horrors. Crypt horrors are a large form of ghoul that have managed to consume the blood of a vampire, granting the beast incredible size and physical strength. With these benefits, the crypt horrors are extensively used by the vampire counts as a form of heavy shock infantry, able to burst through the ranks of the enemy and endure great punishment. The grave guard. Grave guards, unlike simple skeleton warriors, are heroes and powerful warriors from a long time ago. Equipped with some of the finest weapons and armour of their age, these undead still have the combat abilities of their former lives still within them, allowing them to become a formidable corps of warriors, their enchanted blades cutting down the toughest enemy. The Khan race. Khan race are amongst the most powerful undead. Though they lack physical form, their touch drains the life of a mortal. Their very presence fills the air with dread, and most who face them are driven mad with fear long before they are killed. Filled with rage, these vengeful spirits fall upon the enemy, tearing them apart with great sweeps of their ancient magical scythes. In return, those who do stand against them find the pitiful tax merely pass straight through the Khan wraith, making contact with nothing but foul air and tattered robes. The spirit hosts. Spirit hosts are those tormented spirits of humans who were not given the rest from their graves and were forcibly summoned by the necromancer or vampire counts to do their bidding. On the field of battle, these vengeful apparitions cluster together into hosts that drift slowly towards the warm-blooded victims. The Vargheists. Vargheists are the darkness in the vampire's soul made manifest. They are towering winged humanoids, each several times the size of a human man. Though the Vargheists once were noble vampires, they have since devolved into a raving predator, desperate for the taste of blood. Varghulfs. Varghulfs are those devolved vampires that have given themselves up to the primal urges, willingly transforming themselves into monsters. The vampire cavalry. Black Knights. Black Knights come from a time many centuries ago, when barbarian tribes roamed what is now the Empire. Upon their death, they were buried with their most prized possessions, their blade, their armour, and their steed. However, without the blessings of more, these corpses are susceptible to the corruption and influence of the necromancers. Many centuries afterwards, it is common for the necromancers to raise these unblessed corpses from the grave to do his bidding and are his most elite warriors. The Blood Knights. Blood Knights were once an honourable brotherhood of imperial knights that protected the lands just west of the imperial province of Wissenland. However, after their horrific transformation into vampires, these once noble knights have since become the bearers of the unholy blood of the blood dragon bloodline. Their once shining armour is now encrusted with the blood and gore of countless battles. Their monstrous steeds, ragged and ruined from years of warfare, yet held together by potent necromantic spells. The Blood Knights are nigh indestructible, and their thirst for blood makes them ferocious warriors. The Hex Race. Hex race are born in the very depths of the underworld. Their only goal in the afterlife is to hunt down those evil men who have cheated death. Tearing from the underworld and into the material world, these Hex race ride from one end of the old world to another in order to hunt down those that defy the death of the god's wishes. The vampire warbeasts. Direwolves. Direwolves are those arisen corpses of giant wolves that were brought back to serve the will of the necromancer. Like in their former life, the direwolf serve a horrific pack of animals that hunt the enemies of his master like the hounds of the living. The fell bats. Fell bats are amongst the most largest variant of bat living in the old world, so large that their wingspan can go to the height of a tall man. The terrorgeists. Terrorgeists are the largest, most powerful bat species that ever existed, so large and terrifying that they grow to the size of dragons. These monstrous bats are rare yet extremely dangerous, so much that they become favoured mounts of the vampiric bloodline, the most prominent of which are the Strogi. Zombie dragons. Zombie dragons are the remains of long dead dragons that were risen from the resting place within the plains of bones by the powerful dark magic. Used extensively by necromancers and vampires, these dragons have lost all their former thoughts and personality, and nothing but a hollow husk given life and purpose by his new undead master. The Abyssal Terror. Abyssal terrors are massive chaos corrupted creatures that were living life forms by the horrific infusion of many different body parts from a variety of different monsters and chaos tainted creatures. Once created, these monstrosities are often used to float his undead master in battle.